In the quiet of the night, when the world settles down and the noise of the day fades into a soft hush, there is something deeply comforting about listening to stories from the past. Tonight, we begin a long journey, drifting through forgotten pages, old manuscripts, and whispers carried by time. This is not the history that you find in school textbooks or in the bright halls of museums. Instead, it is the history tucked away in corners, bound in dusty forbidden books, and hidden from the ordinary world. These are tales of civilizations that rose, flourished, and then quietly disappeared, leaving only traces for us to wonder about. As you listen, allow your breathing to slow down. Let the steady rhythm of the words become like waves upon the shore, carrying you deeper into a state of calm. Imagine yourself in a vast old library, candlelight flickering on the wooden tables, the air filled with the faint scent of parchment and ink. Row upon row of books stretches into the shadows, and among them are the volumes that were once forbidden, books filled with secrets about lost civilizations. Tonight, we open those pages together. The first pages speak of lands that existed long before the maps we know were drawn. There are descriptions of islands now swallowed by the sea, of cities that stood taller than mountains, of people whose knowledge touched the stars. Some of these stories might be myths, some may be exaggerations, yet hidden within are fragments of truth. As we explore, we will not hurry. We will let the stories unfold slowly, like soft music in the background of a dream. Imagine, for example, the tale of Atlantis. Though often repeated and debated, it remains one of the most famous lost civilizations. According to old texts, Atlantis was a mighty island kingdom with grand temples, shining walls, and channels of water running through the city. The people were said to be powerful, wise, and deeply connected to both the earth and the heavens. Yet one night, as if in punishment, the island was swallowed by the ocean. The forbidden books suggest it was not only a story of destruction, but also a warning, a tale meant to be remembered across generations. Whether true or not, the image of a brilliant city sinking beneath the waves remains carved into human imagination. Now let us move further, past Atlantis, into civilizations that rarely find their way into everyday conversation. Some texts whisper about the land of Mu, a continent said to lie in the Pacific Ocean. According to these mysterious books, Mu was home to a people who had mastered arts and sciences beyond their time. They built temples that rose like mountains, and their voices carried across oceans. But like Atlantis, Mu vanished, leaving only fragments, symbols, and echoes in stories told by Polynesian navigators and Asian chronicles. Whether Mu existed or not, its legend lingers, like a shadow in the pages of forbidden history. Take a slow breath. Feel your body become heavier, more relaxed, as if you too are floating through time. The purpose of these stories is not to prove, but to imagine, to travel softly across the boundaries of known history, and to find rest in the possibility of what once might have been. Another civilization mentioned in forbidden manuscripts is the land of Hyperborea. The Greeks spoke of it as a place beyond the north wind, where the sun never set, and the people lived in harmony, untouched by suffering. Some believed it to be a metaphor for a golden age, others thought it a real land hidden in the Arctic Circle. These old texts describe Hyperboreans as tall, radiant, and serene beings, who lived with nature and possessed wisdom far beyond ordinary men. To imagine such a place is to imagine peace, a land where life is gentle, where time flows slowly, and where the worries of the world melt away. As you listen, allow the calm to grow within you. Picture yourself walking through ancient ruins, the air still and cool, the stones covered in moss. Each step is soft, each breath deeper, and the weight of the day begins to lift from your shoulders. There are also mentions of Lemuria, another vanished land. Some forbidden books describe it as a cradle of humanity, a place where the earliest people learned how to live in balance with the natural world. Lemuria, they say, stretched across the Indian Ocean, connecting lands that are now far apart. Its people understood the language of the stars and the songs of the earth. Some believed that when Lemuria sank, its knowledge spread across the world, planting seeds that would grow into future civilizations. In these stories, we find not only mystery, but also comfort. The idea that humanity has lived many lives, in many places, gives a sense of continuity. We are not alone, not the first, not the last. Others have walked before us, and their echoes remain, like a gentle lullaby in the background of history. As the pages turn, the forbidden books also tell of forgotten empires in deserts, jungles, and mountains. They speak of golden cities hidden under sand, of temples swallowed by forests, and of paths carved into cliffs by hands long gone. Some of these tales are slowly being confirmed by archaeology. Others remain dreams. But in either case, they invite us to rest, to imagine, and to let our minds drift where time has no hold. Let the rhythm of these words carry you further. Your eyelids may feel heavy, your body more relaxed, your breath calm and steady. Like the civilizations we speak of, your thoughts too may begin to sink into quietness, leaving only a gentle stillness behind. The books remind us that history is not only about dates and wars, but also about imagination, about the spaces between the lines. Forbidden histories are like dreams. They may not always be real in the way we understand reality, yet they tell us something about ourselves, our hopes, and our fears. By listening, you join a tradition of seekers, people who dared to wonder about what lies beyond the known. And so, as we close this first chapter, think of yourself as resting in that ancient library once more. The candlelight is dim, the pages are soft beneath your hand, and the stories are endless. Outside, the night is calm, the stars are steady, and within, there is peace. Tomorrow, we will open another book, another story, and drift further into the gentle mysteries of lost civilizations. As we continue our quiet journey through the pages of forgotten manuscripts, let the world outside fade further into silence. Imagine once more the ancient library around you. The glow of the candle remains steady, the smell of old paper lingers, and time itself seems to have slowed down. You are safe here, surrounded by endless shelves of knowledge, some of which has been hidden, some forbidden, some whispered about but rarely spoken aloud. Tonight, we open more of these books, and within them, the lives of civilizations long gone awaken softly in your imagination. The next pages speak of the deserts of Africa. Beneath the golden sands, old writers believed, lay the remains of forgotten kingdoms. Some texts describe cities carved of stone, swallowed by dunes that shift endlessly with the wind. Legends whisper of the land of Punt, a place that Egyptian scribes called God's land. It was said to be rich in incense, ebony, and gold. While many historians believe Punt to have been real, its exact location remains uncertain. Some forbidden accounts suggest that Punt was not just a trading partner of Egypt but a far older civilization, with roots that stretched back into ages before the pyramids. Imagine now the scent of burning myrrh in temple air, the sound of traders' voices in a bustling port, and the sight of ships with tall sails returning across the Red Sea. Take a slow breath. Let your chest rise and fall gently. As you listen, the images unfold slowly, like dreamscapes. A caravan moving across vast sands under a burning sky, the sound of footsteps on stone, the cool shade of palm trees by an oasis. In this stillness, we glimpse not only what was, but what might have been. Turning another page, the forbidden book speaks of hidden civilizations in the Amazon. Deep within the rainforest, explorers sometimes returned with tales of great roads and earthworks, of lost cities veiled by the green canopy. For centuries, these stories were dismissed as fantasy, for the jungle reclaims all that humans build. Yet some manuscripts, banned in their time, describe the Xingu peoples and others as descendants of a once vast network of cities, connected by rivers that served as highways of trade. Imagine standing in that humid forest, the air heavy with the sound of insects, while beneath your feet lie the outlines of forgotten plazas and buried temples. The forest, alive and breathing, guards its secrets well. Let your mind drift with the sound of rain falling gently on leaves. Picture yourself sitting in a canoe, moving slowly through a winding river, the surface of the water broken only by the flight of a bird. Time stretches on, and the hidden civilizations of the Amazon remain as dreams beneath the jungle's cloak. The manuscripts also speak of forgotten cultures beneath the Himalayas. Some texts claim that hidden valleys exist, sheltered by snow peaks, where communities live unchanged for thousands of years. These lands, sometimes called Shambhala, were described as places of great peace and wisdom, where knowledge was preserved far beyond the collapse of other empires. The Forbidden Book suggests that travelers who wandered too far into the mountains sometimes glimpsed lights on the peaks, music in the wind, and villages that vanished when approached. Whether myth or memory, such stories invite us to rest in the thought that somewhere, untouched by time, there may still be sanctuaries of serenity. Close your eyes now, if you haven't already. Imagine those snow-covered mountains. The air is crisp and cool, your breath visible in the night. In the distance, a temple bell rings softly, echoing through the valleys. You feel calm, still, as though you too are resting in that timeless place. Another page reveals the mysterious civilization of the Caucasus Mountains. Ancient texts describe fortified towns, stone towers, and sacred rituals performed under the stars. Some forbidden accounts even suggest that the people of this region preserved stories older than Sumer, older than Egypt, passed down in song and legend. The mountains rise sharply, rivers cut deep valleys, and caves hide carvings that may once have spoken to the stars. Imagine walking along those mountain paths, hearing only the wind, and knowing that beneath each stone lies a history untold. Now, let us journey further east, to the steppes of Central Asia. The manuscripts speak of lost nomadic kingdoms, whose riders moved with the seasons, carrying with them traditions, songs, and wisdom. Some books hint at empires that rose long before the Mongols, whose knowledge of the stars guided their migrations. Forbidden texts describe ancient observatories, great circles of stone built not for worship, but for charting the heavens. Imagine a night on those steppes, the sky vast and unbroken, filled with stars so bright they seem to sing. A fire crackles softly, the herd rests nearby, and the voices of the ancestors seem close at hand. Take another deep breath. Let the air fill your lungs slowly, and then release it gently. As the words continue, let them wash over you like waves of a calm sea. The forbidden books do not only speak of civilizations that once were, they also tell us of knowledge lost. They describe scrolls written in languages no one can read, of symbols carved into stones with meanings long forgotten. Some manuscripts tell of the Library of Alexandria, not only as a collection of texts, but as a gateway to knowledge from even earlier worlds. The legend says that within its walls were maps of lands now vanished, treatises on sciences far beyond their time, and records of people we no longer know. Whether the library truly held such treasures, we may never know. But to imagine it is enough. A place where the wisdom of countless generations was gathered, only to be scattered like ashes by fire. Let the sadness of this loss be gentle. It is like the passing of a dream. You awaken, and the details fade, but the memory of peace remains. As you drift deeper into calm, imagine yourself walking once again through the library of the forbidden books. The candle flickers, and shadows stretch across the walls. The air is cool, and the silence is absolute. You reach out your hand, touch the spine of another book, and feel the weight of centuries resting there. Within these stories of lost civilizations, there is a reminder that human life has always been fragile, yet always resilient. Cities rise and fall, but the whispers of their existence remain. The forbidden books are not only tales of the past, they are gentle lullabies reminding us that we are part of a greater story, one without end. Allow your thoughts now to wander as freely as they wish. Perhaps you imagine golden temples beneath the jungle, or shining towers lost to the sea. Perhaps you walk down silent streets of stone, the voices of the past echoing faintly in the wind. Wherever your mind drifts, know that it is safe, peaceful, and timeless. And as the final page of the second block closes, imagine yourself resting at last, surrounded by all the civilizations of memory and myth. They are not gone, they live within your dreams, waiting to be discovered again when the night is quiet and the heart is still. The night grows deeper, and the silence outside the ancient library grows heavier, almost protective. The world seems far away now, and only the glow of candlelight and the soft turning of pages remain. As we continue this journey, the books open themselves like gateways, revealing stories that are both familiar and strange. These are tales of places long forgotten, places where humanity once thrived, and then quietly vanished into the folds of time. The next manuscript, bound in cracked leather, speaks of lands beneath the sea. There are whispers of cities along the Mediterranean, buried when the waters rose after the Ice Age. One such legend tells of Pavlopetri, a city discovered off the coast of Greece. Though archaeologists have found its ruins beneath the waves, some forbidden texts claim it was only one of many such drowned towns. They suggest that along the coastlines of the world, hidden underwater, lie entire networks of forgotten communities, harbors, temples, marketplaces, all waiting in silence, cradled by the sea. Imagine floating above those ruins, drifting like a diver in slow motion. The stones of ancient walls appear in the clear water. Fish glide through streets where people once walked. Seaweed sways gently, like curtains of memory. The ocean holds these cities in a gentle embrace, and as you picture them, allow your body too to feel supported, weightless, calm, as though you are drifting in water yourself. Turning the page, we find another story, this one of forgotten kingdoms in North America. Though mainstream history often tells us of native tribes, forbidden books suggest that there were once vast confederations of cities, stretching from the Mississippi River to the Great Lakes. They speak of Cahokia, with its massive earthen mounds, and of other settlements whose records were lost. Some accounts even hint at earlier civilizations, whose monuments were later covered by forest and soil. Imagine standing on top of a mound at sunset, the horizon wide and golden, and the air filled with the quiet voices of ancestors. You breathe deeply, and the sound of the wind across the plains feels like a song without end. Breathe slowly. Let that image stay with you for a moment, the earth itself shaped into monuments, holding the memory of people long gone. The books also tell of South America, where beyond the well-known Inca lie stories of cultures even older. The manuscript describes Tiwanaku, near Lake Titicaca, whose stones weigh more than any simple tools could move. Forbidden accounts suggest that Tiwanaku was built upon ruins of an even earlier people, whose knowledge was lost in ages past. The stones align with the stars, and when the sun rises over the Andes, light passes through ancient gateways in ways too precise to be coincidence. Now picture yourself standing there, high above sea level, the air crisp and thin. The lake glimmers under the rising sun, and the massive stones rest in silence. As you take in this vision, your breathing slows further, and your body relaxes into stillness, as if you too were part of that ancient landscape. The manuscripts take us next into Africa once more, but this time to the west. Some forbidden texts speak of cities built of gold, hidden in the forests and deserts of Mali and Ghana. The tales of Timbuktu, once legendary, remind us that places of learning and trade flourished in the heart of Africa. But older accounts suggest there were even grander cities, swallowed by sands, or destroyed by time. Imagine traders crossing the desert at night, stars overhead guiding their camels, while in the distance, golden towers rise like a mirage. The memory of these cities lingers in song and story, carried from generation to generation. Allow that desert to unfold in your mind, the endless horizon, the cool air of night, the soft sound of footsteps across the sand. You feel peaceful here, timeless, as though the desert itself holds you in its quiet. Turning the page, the book reveals civilizations beneath Europe itself. Some old manuscripts speak of labyrinths beneath the earth, carved by hands older than Rome, older even than Greece. In Malta, there are stories of hypogeum temples, chambers carved into stone where people once gathered. Forbidden accounts suggest that these chambers may have connected to a network of tunnels, cities underground, where ancient communities lived in darkness lit only by torches. Imagine descending into such a place, the air cool, the walls echoing with silence, the feeling of safety deep within the earth. Now picture yourself there. Your footsteps are soft, your breathing steady, and the stone walls glow faintly in torchlight. This underground city is not threatening but calming, a womb of stone where time has no meaning. You rest here, safe, as though the earth itself has gathered you close. The books whisper, too, of civilizations that may have existed where ice now reigns. Some manuscripts tell of Antarctica not always being covered in glaciers, but once hosting green valleys and rivers. They describe maps showing mountain ranges beneath the ice, drawn centuries before modern explorers confirmed their existence. Could there have been people there, long ago? Perhaps. Perhaps not. But in the stillness of night, the thought is enough to carry the imagination across frozen plains, where silence is absolute and stars shine brighter than anywhere else on earth. Take another breath. Feel your chest rise, your shoulders soften, your body sink deeper into rest. The Antarctic winds blow gently in your mind, cool and refreshing, carrying you further into relaxation. The manuscripts are filled not only with places, but with people, individuals whose names are forgotten, but whose lives were part of these civilizations. Farmers tending fields beneath ancient suns. Sailors crossing seas toward distant horizons. Builders carving stones into temples. Storytellers reciting legends by firelight. Each life a small flame, now extinguished, yet together forming the glow of humanity's past. Let yourself rest in this thought. We are part of a great continuum, a story written across countless generations. The forbidden books remind us that we are never alone in time. Others have walked before us, and others will walk after us. The candle in the library flickers, and the shadows dance once more. The page is turned gently, and the story pauses here, leaving you in calm. Outside, the night remains quiet, and inside, the weight of centuries rests softly on your mind. Close this chapter, and let yourself drift deeper into peace. The library remains quiet. The candle still glows softly, but its flame has grown smaller, as though it too is drifting into rest. You sit surrounded by the endless shelves of forbidden books, each one holding mysteries of the past. The air is cool, the silence deep, and the world outside feels far away. With the turn of another page, the story continues, carrying us further into the realms of lost civilizations, hidden knowledge, and gentle imagination. This chapter begins with the islands of the Pacific. Forbidden manuscripts speak of peoples who crossed vast oceans in canoes, guided only by stars and waves. These explorers built networks of islands connected by memory and song. Some texts tell of a great central land, now vanished beneath the sea, from which these voyagers once came. Legends from Polynesia speak of Hawaii, a homeland across the horizon, a place both real and spiritual. Could it have been part of Mu, the lost continent? Perhaps. Or perhaps it exists only in memory. Still, as you imagine the endless ocean at night, with constellations shining above and the rhythm of waves below, you feel calm, safe, and timeless. Let yourself drift with that image, the canoe gliding softly across the water, the sound of paddles dipping in unison, the stars guiding the way. You are floating, supported, and at ease. The manuscripts next reveal stories from the deserts of Arabia. Some forbidden texts describe Iram of the Pillars, a city said to have been built with towering columns and unimaginable wealth. Known in legend as Atlantis of the Sands, it was said to have disappeared, swallowed by shifting dunes as punishment for arrogance. Though many dismiss it as myth, explorers have found ruins buried beneath sand, leading some to wonder if the stories held fragments of truth. Imagine walking through endless dunes, the air warm and still, until you see the faint outline of stone columns rising against the horizon. The silence is vast, the desert eternal, and the city waits, sleeping beneath the sands. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, let your body feel as still and timeless as that desert landscape. Another page opens to the forests of Europe. Long before Rome, long before Athens, forbidden manuscripts speak of the megalith builders, mysterious communities who raised stones into circles and avenues. Stonehenge is their most famous creation, but scattered across the continent are countless others, hidden in fields and woods. Some texts suggest that these people knew the patterns of the stars, aligning their monuments with solstices and eclipses. Others whisper that the stones themselves held power, marking places where the earth's energy rose like invisible rivers. Picture yourself standing among those stones at dawn, the air cool, the grass damp, the sky painted in soft colors. The stones stand silent, patient, like guardians of forgotten time. Your breathing grows slower, deeper. The stones, tall and steady, mirror your own calmness, grounding you in stillness. The manuscripts guide us further east, to the lands of Mesopotamia. While much is known of Sumer, Babylon, and Assyria, some forbidden texts hint at even older peoples, civilizations erased by flood or fire before writing was born. They speak of Kish, Eridu, and other cities whose kings ruled for thousands of years, according to ancient lists. Whether symbolic or literal, these records carry the weight of myth and memory combined. Imagine the wide rivers of the Tigris and Euphrates, flowing calmly under a golden sun. Along their banks rise temples and ziggurats, their steps reaching for the sky. The sound of water, the call of birds, and the voices of priests chanting softly in stone halls fill the air. Allow yourself to walk among them in your imagination, each step slow and easy, each breath steady and calm. From Mesopotamia, the texts carry us into India. Forbidden books speak of civilizations that existed long before the Vedic period. They tell of the city of Dvarka, said to have been founded by the god Krishna, and later lost to the sea. For centuries it was believed to be only a legend, until underwater ruins were discovered off the coast of Gujarat. Columns, walls, and artifacts rest quietly beneath the waves, silent witnesses to a story that may be older than history itself. Picture yourself swimming gently above those ruins, the water warm, the sunlight rippling across the stones. Fish move gracefully around the columns, and the city lies in peaceful slumber, cradled by the sea. Take a long, slow breath, as though you too are floating above that sunken city, weightless and serene. The manuscripts speak also of China, where myths blend with history. They tell of the Xia dynasty, long dismissed as legend, but later confirmed by evidence of early states along the Yellow River. Yet some forbidden texts whisper of even earlier times, of kingdoms lost in floods, of palaces carved into mountainsides, of knowledge that vanished when dynasties rose and fell. Imagine standing on the banks of the Yellow River at twilight, the water glimmering gold, the hills in the distance fading into shadow. The air is calm, the river eternal, and history flows like water, carrying stories from past to present. Now let us turn to the high plateaus of Tibet. Forbidden accounts describe ancient monasteries hidden in caves, where scrolls of unknown languages were kept. Some texts speak of Shangri-La, a hidden valley where peace and wisdom endured while the outside world changed. Whether real or mythical, the image itself brings calm, a valley of green meadows, snow-capped peaks, and clear rivers flowing through quiet villages. Imagine yourself there, the sound of bells in the distance, prayer flags fluttering softly in the wind. The air is pure, your mind at rest, your body at ease. As the candle flickers, another page is turned. The Forbidden Book reminds us that these lost civilizations are not only stories of greatness and tragedy, but also reminders of the fragile beauty of human life. Each city, each temple, each culture was once alive with laughter, work, and dreams. And though they may now be gone, their echoes remain, whispers in stone, songs in myth, memories in books. Take one more deep, gentle breath. Feel your body sink deeper into rest. The civilizations of the past are like stars in the night sky. Some still shining, some long extinguished, but all part of the same vast universe. The library around you grows quieter still. The candle burns lower. The book closes softly, and for now, the stories pause. Outside, the night continues, calm and endless, while within, you drift deeper into peace. In the gentle quiet of night, let us once more open the pages of forbidden books, where the ink of forgotten civilizations still breathes faintly. Tonight, we turn our thoughts toward the sands of Egypt, a land that has stood as both cradle and mystery. The pyramids rise in silence against the desert sky, but the oldest whispers of Egypt speak of things even more hidden than stone monuments. Whispers of civilizations older than the Nile Kingdom, voices preserved in manuscripts that scholars have debated, doubted, or quietly set aside. Imagine for a moment the long corridors beneath the sands, where time itself seems reluctant to intrude. In these secretive spaces, texts carved into stone or painted onto fragile papyrus hint at stories not of pharaohs, but of beings who came before. They tell of temples now erased from the desert surface, of cities whose stones were reclaimed by shifting dunes, and of rivers that no longer run. The forbidden books suggest that Egypt inherited its greatness, rather than invented it, drawing upon the remnants of an even older and more elusive world. As we wander softly through this tale, let your mind picture a hidden library buried beneath the paws of the Sphinx. Legends say that within it rests the Hall of Records, a chamber filled with tablets of stone inscribed with the wisdom of a forgotten race. Though archaeologists have searched, no chamber has been found, yet in the silent lines of forbidden manuscripts, the chamber is described in patient detail. These texts do not rush, nor do they shout. They describe with calm certainty the existence of knowledge guarded by priests, knowledge said to trace back to a time before the desert was dry, when lush fields stretched to the horizon and another civilization thrived. Close your eyes, and you may see the slow movement of water across the land. The desert that we know was once a garden, the forbidden books claim, its rivers flowing freely, its soil rich with crops. And it was here, in this verdant Egypt long before the pyramids, that teachers from a vanished world shared astronomy, mathematics, and architecture. Later generations would enshrine these lessons in temples of stone, but the original teachers faded into myth. Some call them gods. Some call them survivors of a lost island. The books do not argue. They simply suggest that what we call myth may be memory. Drifting through the soft sands of history, we encounter tales of the emerald tablets of Thoth, said to contain secrets of time and transformation. Whether true or imagined, the manuscripts insist that these writings were hidden away for the worthy few. Scholars who dare to study them often reported the same feeling, that Egypt's wisdom was borrowed, a flame passed from an older torch. And though the tablets themselves remain out of reach, their legend lingers in forbidden texts, like a gentle echo that refuses to fade. The pyramids themselves are written into these narratives not as tombs, but as markers, monuments meant to preserve alignment with stars that guided the ancient teachers. While historians debate this purpose, the forbidden texts describe the pyramids as keys, each one resonating with a celestial note, part of a harmony that once connected earth and sky. To read these accounts at night, under the hush of stars, is to feel the slow pull of time blending past and present. Imagine the Nile at dawn, flowing quietly, reflecting a soft golden light on the reeds and papyrus growing along its banks. Small boats glide gently on the water, carrying merchants, fishermen, and children, while priests chant softly in the distant temples. The air smells faintly of lotus flowers and incense, mixing with the earthy scent of damp soil and stone. Everywhere, life is calm and ordered, in rhythm with the river and the sun. Beyond the river, the temples of the old gods rise in majestic silence. Colossal statues of deities, carved from limestone and granite, watch over the land with eternal patience. Hieroglyphs on the walls whisper their stories, tales of kings, of rituals, of mysteries that scholars struggle to understand. In the forbidden texts, there are hints of knowledge far older than the pharaohs, instructions on observing the heavens, rituals to honor unseen forces, and guidance for those who seek wisdom in quiet contemplation. Imagine walking through a vast temple courtyard, the sand warm beneath your feet, your shadow stretching long as the sun rises slowly above the horizon. The sound of a distant water wheel or a bell may drift softly, yet the calm remains undisturbed. Some manuscripts describe secret chambers beneath the temples, accessible only to the initiated. These rooms were said to contain scrolls and tablets with knowledge of healing, astronomy, and the cycles of the earth, preserved with meticulous care. The texts speak of priests meditating for hours, performing rituals not for power, but for understanding and alignment with cosmic forces. Picture yourself entering such a chamber. Cool stone walls, faint light reflecting off ancient carvings, the smell of incense lingering in the air. It is a place of peace, reflection, and quiet learning. And yet, even as the sands shifted and time marched forward, some of this knowledge survived. Hidden fragments, scattered across tombs, libraries, and secret repositories, continue to whisper across the ages. The forbidden books remind us that knowledge can be lost but never entirely destroyed. And as you imagine these long-gone teachers and the calm, deliberate work they did, feel the same serenity spreading through your own mind and body. Take another slow breath. Feel the rhythm of the Nile, the warmth of the morning sun, the cool stone beneath your fingers. Let the voices of the past mingle with your own heartbeat, steady and calm. In these stories, there is no rush, no fear, only the gentle unfolding of history, of civilizations remembered softly through time. Finally, let the last image linger in your mind, a quiet desert, a hidden temple, the eternal Sphinx watching the stars. All is still. All is calm. The forbidden books have shared their whispers, and you are carried gently on their words, floating through the sands of memory and imagination, ready to drift deeper into rest. The night deepens, and our journey through forbidden books carries us across oceans and continents, to lands of dense jungles, towering mountains, and endless skies. Now we turn our attention to the Americas, to civilizations whose stories stretch back thousands of years, whispered through ruins and secret manuscripts, and recorded in the softest of voices for those willing to listen. Imagine the vast expanse of the Yucatan Peninsula, where the Maya once thrived. From the pages of forbidden books, we learn that the Maya were far more than astronomers and builders. They were keepers of ancient knowledge, some of which they themselves claimed to have inherited from civilizations even older than their pyramids. The texts speak of cities of stone rising above the jungle, their rooftops and terraces aligned with the sun, moon, and stars. Temples stood in quiet harmony with nature, observing celestial cycles with precision that modern instruments struggle to replicate. Picture yourself walking through the quiet streets of a Maya city at dawn, the mist rising slowly from the forest floor. The soft sound of leaves brushing together and the distant call of exotic birds fills the air. Massive stone temples reach toward the sky, their carvings telling stories of gods, kings, and time itself. The forbidden books describe intricate calendars, rituals, and the careful observation of the heavens, all conducted in a calm, deliberate way, designed to align life with the rhythm of the universe. Take a deep breath. Let the humid air of the jungle fill your lungs, carrying the scent of flowers, soil, and moss. Feel the gentle warmth of sunlight filtering through the canopy, touching your skin like a soft, golden blanket. Each step you take is slow, unhurried, allowing you to absorb the peace of a civilization that revered balance, patience, and harmony. Beyond the Maya, the forbidden texts hint at older peoples whose traces are now buried beneath the jungle floor. Some manuscripts describe hidden cities of gold and stone, connected by canals and roads, now swallowed by vegetation and time. Legends suggest that knowledge of agriculture, astronomy, and art was passed down from these forgotten civilizations to the Maya and other peoples who came later. Imagine walking along a narrow, moss-covered pathway, uncovering the faint outline of a stone wall, sensing the echo of those who walked before, and feeling the quiet energy of a place preserved in memory. Moving southward, the forbidden books guide us to the high Andes, home of the great Inca Empire. The Incas, with their terraced mountains and intricate roads, preserved knowledge from civilizations even older than their own. The manuscripts suggest that beneath Machu Picchu and other sacred sites lie secrets passed down through generations, knowledge of stone construction, celestial observation, and spiritual practice. Picture yourself standing atop a mountain ridge, the valley stretching below in soft shades of green and gold, clouds drifting gently across the peaks. The air is thin but refreshing, and every breath invites calm, every heartbeat aligns with the timeless rhythm of the mountains. Imagine walking along the Inca roads, smooth stones guiding your feet, as you move through hidden valleys and terraces. Along the way, small shrines and temples rise from the earth, decorated with carvings and symbols now hard to interpret. Forbidden texts hint at rituals performed to honor the sun and the stars, conducted in serene contemplation rather than spectacle. Close your eyes and listen to the faint echoes of flutes, the rustling of wind in the high grasses, and the soft murmur of distant streams. The manuscripts also whisper of civilizations even older than the Inca and Maya, whose remains lie hidden beneath rivers, mountains, and jungles. Some describe peoples who navigated rivers in canoes, built pyramids of earth and stone, and recorded knowledge in symbols long since forgotten. Their stories survive only in the most secret of books, preserved in ink and memory. As you imagine these ancient peoples, picture a calm river flowing slowly through a green valley, the sunlight sparkling on its surface. Small animals pause by the banks, birds glide overhead, and the world feels vast, gentle, and timeless. Let your mind rest in the thought that knowledge and civilization are not lost entirely. They flow quietly through generations, sometimes buried, sometimes revealed in fragments. Forbidden books remind us that every ruin, every stone, every glyph is a whisper of life, a testament to patience, ingenuity, and harmony with the natural world. Take another slow breath. Feel the soft warmth of the jungle and mountains in your imagination. The civilizations of the Americas, Maya, Inca, and their mysterious predecessors, live in your mind as gentle memories. Their cities, temples, and rivers carry a rhythm of calm, a quiet lesson in living with respect for the earth and sky. As the candlelight flickers in the ancient library of your mind, imagine the books closing softly, leaving you surrounded by the echo of civilizations that lived, loved, and dreamed long before. The air is still, the world outside is silent, and inside, you drift deeper into relaxation, carried by the gentle cadence of lost histories and the serene imagery of lands far away. The forbidden manuscripts have spoken tonight of stone, river, and sky, of knowledge passed down through generations, and of civilizations that continue to live quietly in memory. Let these visions rest in your mind as you sink deeper into calm, your breath steady, your body at ease, and your imagination wandering gently through the lost worlds of the Americas. The night grows deeper, and the library of forbidden books feels like a sanctuary, its walls lined with centuries of whispers. The candlelight flickers gently, casting long, slow shadows across shelves stacked with manuscripts. We continue our journey, now turning eastward, across deserts, mountains, and rivers, into the ancient lands of Asia and Mesopotamia, where civilizations rose, thrived, and quietly vanished, leaving traces only the patient mind can follow. Imagine the fertile plains of Mesopotamia, cradled between the Tigris and Euphrates. The forbidden books speak softly of cities older than Sumer, cities that existed before kings and writing, whose people left subtle marks on the earth. They built temples aligned with the heavens, studied the stars, and recorded knowledge in symbols we no longer fully understand. Picture the calm flow of the rivers at dawn, the cool water reflecting soft golden light, as villagers move slowly along the banks, tending fields, drawing water, or offering quiet prayers. The air carries the faint scent of mud, reeds, and baked clay, mingling with the morning light. The manuscripts tell of Kish, Eridu, and Uruk, cities whose names echo across time. They describe streets paved with clay, ziggurats reaching skyward, and marketplaces where goods and knowledge were exchanged. Some forbidden texts suggest that these cities were built atop even older settlements, whose memory persists only in subtle alignments of stones or hidden inscriptions. Imagine walking through these ancient streets, your footsteps soft on the earth, the air still and calm, the distant sound of a priest's chant carried gently by the morning breeze. Further east, the forbidden books guide us to the Indus Valley, a civilization remarkable for its order, urban planning, and architecture. Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro emerge from the pages, their grid-like streets and uniform bricks reflecting a sophistication often overlooked. The manuscripts hint at advanced knowledge, water management, mathematics, and community governance, hidden in symbols and artifacts that have survived millennia. Imagine walking quietly through these streets, the dust soft beneath your feet, as the sun rises and casts long shadows over terraces and walls, and the city hums with a gentle, invisible energy. The journey continues to ancient China, where dynasties rose and fell like slow-moving rivers. Forbidden manuscripts speak of kingdoms older than any documented dynasty, their wisdom preserved in secret texts and ceremonial traditions. They describe vast lands, rivers winding through mountains, and cities built in harmony with nature. Some texts hint at astronomical observatories that predated what we know, recording the stars and planets with precision. Imagine yourself standing on a high plateau, the wind cool and steady, looking across river valleys and terraced fields, feeling a sense of peace and connection with the countless generations who lived there. Traveling further, the manuscripts reveal hidden cultures in the mountains of Central Asia. Nomadic kingdoms once roamed the steppes, their lives guided by the cycles of seasons and stars. Forbidden books describe their observatories, made of stone circles and carefully aligned pillars, used to chart the heavens. These nomads, though long vanished, passed down songs, myths, and techniques of survival, weaving their knowledge into the fabric of the land itself. Picture a night on the steppes, the sky wide and unbroken, stars reflected in the eyes of animals, and the soft murmur of wind in the grasses. Each breath is slow, each heartbeat steady, in harmony with the land and time itself. The manuscripts also speak of the Himalayas, where isolated valleys preserved cultures untouched for millennia. Some texts describe monasteries carved into cliffs, filled with scrolls of wisdom. Legends of Shambhala, a hidden realm of peace and enlightenment, appear frequently, offering guidance, serenity, and knowledge preserved through centuries. Imagine walking along a cliffside path, soft mist curling around the rocks, the sound of distant bells echoing faintly through the mountains. Each step is deliberate, each breath calm, your body and mind in quiet rhythm with the landscape. Even the islands of Southeast Asia appear in these forbidden texts, describing ancient maritime civilizations that traded knowledge across oceans long before formal empires arose. The manuscripts hint at networks of islands where learning, art, and spirituality flourished, connecting cultures in ways that remain mysterious to this day. Imagine a warm sea breeze carrying the scent of flowers and salt, small boats gliding across calm waters, and communities rising in harmony with the rhythm of tides and winds. The world is vast, yet peaceful, and your mind drifts slowly among these gentle waters. As the candle flickers in the library, casting dancing shadows, we are reminded that these civilizations, though lost, continue to live in whispers. Their stories are not lost, they are waiting in the pages of forbidden books, in symbols on stones, in songs passed down silently. And as you imagine walking through Mesopotamian streets, Indus Valley towns, Chinese plateaus, Central Asian steppes, Himalayan valleys, and Southeast Asian islands, feel a calm sense of continuity, a soft thread connecting you to these ancient worlds. Take a deep, steady breath. Let your mind wander freely among these civilizations, observing, listening, resting. The rivers, mountains, and skies of Asia carry you gently, their history soft as the night, slow as a river's current. Each city, each valley, each observatory and temple is a point of calm, guiding you deeper into the serenity of memory and imagination. The forbidden manuscripts close gently in your mind, leaving you surrounded by the echo of civilizations that thrived long before, and whose essence remains as a quiet, enduring presence. The library is still, the candle burns low, and the world outside is silent. Within you, peace flows slowly, steadily, like the rivers of time, carrying you deeper into rest. The night is at its deepest, and the library of forbidden books feels eternal, as if it exists outside of time. Each manuscript we have opened has carried us across continents and centuries, revealing the whispers of civilizations long vanished, yet still present in memory and imagination. Now, in this final journey, let us drift slowly through the world, touching lightly on the lands, people, and mysteries that have quietly shaped the history of humankind. Imagine the deserts of Africa once more, their sands vast and golden under a quiet sun. Forbidden texts speak of cities swallowed by dunes, of scholars and priests recording knowledge in stone and clay before the first pyramids rose. These lost civilizations are described not as footnotes, but as living communities, with markets, festivals, and temples. Picture yourself walking among their ruins at dawn, the air soft, the shadows long, the silence holding the stories of those who came before. Each breath you take is calm and deliberate, your body sinking deeper into relaxation, in tune with the rhythm of the land. To the north, the forests of Europe emerge from the manuscripts, filled with megaliths and stone circles. Some texts hint at societies that observed the stars, built monuments aligned with celestial events, and preserved knowledge in cryptic symbols. Imagine standing in a quiet clearing among tall stones, the moss soft beneath your feet, the wind whispering through leaves. Each moment stretches gently, inviting your mind to wander slowly, at ease, tracing the invisible threads of history woven across millennia. Across oceans, the Americas come alive once more in our minds. The cities of the Maya and Inca, their pyramids, terraces, and temples, rise from jungles and mountains. Forbidden books remind us of their precursors, civilizations whose names are lost, whose knowledge survives only in myths, artifacts, and subtle alignments of stone. Picture yourself drifting through these landscapes at twilight, the cool jungle air, the soft trickle of streams, the quiet echoes of long-vanished voices. Each step is slow, each breath calm, carrying you gently deeper into thought and rest. In Asia, the manuscripts lead us across river valleys, plateaus, and islands. Mesopotamian ziggurats, Indus Valley streets, Chinese observatories, Central Asian steppes, Himalayan monasteries, and Southeast Asian archipelagos all appear in quiet sequence. These civilizations, while separated by geography, share a rhythm of life attuned to nature, the sky, and the passage of time. Imagine yourself walking slowly through each place, touching the stones, listening to the water, feeling the wind across your face. The world is vast, yet serene, a soft embrace of history that carries no rush, only calm continuity. The manuscripts also remind us of oceans, mountains, and hidden valleys where civilizations may never have left visible marks. They speak of people whose lives were recorded in memory, song, and myth rather than stone or clay. In each account, there is a delicate balance between what is known and what is imagined, creating a tapestry of human endeavor that stretches across time. Picture a hidden valley, mist rising slowly from the forest floor, sunlight flickering through ancient trees, and a gentle stream winding through the land. The quiet hum of life, past and present, fills the air, soothing your mind and body. As you breathe slowly, feel the threads of knowledge and memory weaving around you. Every stone, every river, every star, and every city holds a fragment of human history. Forbidden books carry these fragments across centuries, preserving whispers that would otherwise be lost. And though many details remain mysteries, the calm presence of these civilizations, alive in imagination, reminds you that history is not merely a series of events, it is a living, breathing rhythm. Take a long, deep breath, and let your mind drift gently across continents. Visualize Africa, Europe, the Americas, Asia, and distant islands, each filled with traces of life, learning, and wonder. Imagine the calm flow of time, connecting all these places, all these people, all these moments, into a vast, quiet tapestry. Your body, too, rests in this tapestry, each breath slower, each heartbeat steady, each muscle relaxed. Finally, the candle in the library flickers one last time, and the forbidden books close softly, as if sighing in contentment. The night outside remains silent and vast, and within, your mind floats gently, carried by centuries of whispers, stories, and memories. Every lost city, every hidden temple, every civilization now rests peacefully in your imagination. Let yourself drift now, deeper and deeper, into rest, into calm, into sleep. The knowledge, the stories, the wonders of humanity's forgotten past are yours to carry quietly in your mind, like soft, gentle stars in a dark, endless sky. And as you breathe slowly and evenly, allow yourself to sink fully into the serenity of the night, embraced by the silent, enduring presence of all lost civilizations.